In a world where many expect to get what they want, when they want it, there are still some things that absolutely, positively just can't get there overnight. It's a fact of life Kendrick Walker understands way better than most. Remarkably healthy through high school, 2 words from a physician would alter everything. Kidney failure.
Nothing they could do. They just...
To keep living, Kendrick needed a device to do what his kidneys could not. That meant 12 grueling hours a week having his blood cleansed by a dialysis machine. For the 20-year-old, pain and fatigue became perpetual, and an early death almost certain unless his body gained a replacement part.
He said he's gonna need a transplant. And that's nothing I wanted to hear, but I just had to deal with it.
Time passed. Those who wanted to step up for Kendrick couldn't. Those who could simply didn't. Thankfully, what happened next was a special delivery of selfless grace by a guy who spent his whole career getting things to where they need to go in the nick of time.
I hope my kids grow up to be like Kendrick Walker.
His name is John Gray, and he's a great deal more than Kendrick's boss at FedEx.
He's one of the toughest people I know.
You see, these two have history. Kendrick's mom cared for John's daughters. John, in turn, watched with admiration as Kendrick grew into manhood.
When I turned 18, give him a call, he'll get a job for me. So that's what I did.
And he's just been outstanding since he's been here. His work ethic, he's just a great all-around person.
Great leader. Great leader.
This is a story of the worthy and the willing. Unable to watch a young life limited, John Gray chose to offer a piece of himself. A gift a full half of those with failing kidneys don't get in time to stave off death.
And he just stepped up, stepped forward, and said he wanted to do it.
I just want him to be healthy, I guess.
This is where the tale gets as complicated as a FedEx sorting line. Turns out John's kidney wasn't an ideal match for Kendrick. Instead of walking away, John agreed to give his kidney to an unknown recipient. In exchange, Kendrick would be guaranteed a compatible organ from the first available donor.
Dick, what's the deal with the deal? Are we dealing? We're dealing. David's a deal with Don, Dork, and Dick. Dork, it's a deal with Dave, Dick, and Dave.
The result of this anatomical haggling, a chain reaction of life-saving procedures.
But just a year ago, wouldn't have been possible.
Methodist Hospital's Dr. Osama Gaber says donation from the living is possible because the human body needs only one healthy kidney to thrive. As for risk, Gaber rates it as minimal, about the same as cosmetic surgery. That said, this veteran of hundreds of transplants retains a profound appreciation for the rare courage required.
I think that these people are just heroes. They're simply people that are just programmed to give of themselves.
2 weeks before Christmas, a special present arrived from California. And thanks to John Gray's very personal IOU, was delivered to Kendrick by Methodist surgeons soon after. Less than a month later, Kendrick Walker was running for the first time in a long time.
I know this feels wonderful, though. It's just amazing.
Charged with faith, his thoughts are on the future and the friend who made it possible.
God see him through this.
I'm ready to do it.
February 15th, John's turn. Go time.
And after seeing Kendrick, seeing as good as he looks and how good he feels, it makes me want to do it even more.
Of the millions of deliveries John Gray has had a hand in, none compare in importance. Firmly in his corner, both the grateful friend and the person who knows and loves him best.
In his heart, he knew that this was the right thing to do, and no question.
The right thing to do took 3 hours worth of exquisite surgical craft to complete. Much of the extraction conducted through a single, tiny incision. In the Methodist waiting room, a young man quietly marveled at what felt very much like an ongoing miracle.
There's good in people. And John, he's a special guy. I'm just glad that he went through it. And he just not helping me, helping another person. It would make it even better. Just amazing.
1,400 miles away, the piece of John Gray arrived as promised, right on time. Deliverance, so to speak, from the delivery man. Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News. Every minute of every hour of every day, Texans pony up for a long shot at a little hope. A chance for a one-time windfall, the kind of regular guy financial breathing room that comes with 5 digits.
Oh, cash.
A full year's salary for the fortunate to blow or just bankroll for another day. It was just this kind of bonanza that arrived last summer in bulk, when 47 now former Houston ISD teachers were paid handsomely to do absolutely nothing.
It's embarrassing.
That's Teachers Union President Gail Fallon. More from her later.
And we felt like this decision was best for our students.
That's Ann Best, HISD's Director of Human Resources. Since our initial open records request, more than 5 months ago, Fox 26 has been asking her department for the total cost of firing teachers and administrators who are still under contract.
It took the work of multiple teams trying to pull this data together, and we hope to be much more efficient in the future.
The numbers speak for themselves. Line after line after line of 5-figure payouts, compensating career educators not to educate. The total cost to taxpayers, nearly $3.7 million, an expense incurred by the district with the full knowledge of the deep cut in state dollars expected on the budgetary horizon.
You just never look good wasting almost $4 million, particularly in a tight economic year. You just don't look good doing that.
But HISD's Best called the expense a necessary investment for the kids in the Apollo 20 program. Superintendent Terry Greer's signature but still unproven strategy for healing low-performing schools. The district's bottom line, the teachers paid not to teach were simply bad teachers.
We looked at past track records of success, so I can assure you that these were teachers who were low performing.
And Best is lying on that. Quite simply, these folks did not have bad evaluations. These folks were in schools that weren't functioning well.
Which leads to this question. If, because they were under contract, the district felt compelled to pay these teachers, why not reassign them to different jobs so that taxpayers would at least get some return on their millions of dollars?
Our principals are the hiring managers on their campuses with decisions. We don't force place any teachers, so principals ultimately have to make those choices.
And the union's Fallon says that's the school board's fault.
And then turn around and hire new people. So you're really paying for 2 teachers for that position, and that's exactly what happened.
And with cash per student soon to shrink and campuses preparing to scrimp, 1 for the price of 2 is the kind of accounting that may be difficult to defend, especially when the district's cast-offs appear to have been handed a jackpot at taxpayer expense. Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News. In a garage full of fondly regarded gas guzzlers,
get your motor running, head out on the highway,
each on a gradual road to resurrection, you will find something else going on. A build-from-scratch vehicle we'll just call the future.
We're looking to get 1,000 miles per gallon.
Edgar Vasquez fully understands that's about 990 more than most of these street monsters.
That's a ridiculous number, but this only weighs about 20 pounds, you know, over here.
And getting more from less is the mission of Team Eco Mileage, a trio of aspiring engineers from the University of Houston. For months, they've been crafting their fuel-stingy car in the shop of Chris Baranowski, a wrench master who's spent a lifetime getting more no matter what.
Gas mileage is a bad word around here, with the exception of these guys here.
Drivers to your cars.
That's because a top finish in the upcoming Shell Eco Marathon has nothing to do with moving swiftly from 0 to 60.
It only needs to go 15 miles an hour. We hope so. We hope that it only goes 15 miles an hour.
15 mph in hyper-efficient fashion. Edgar and Crew's cutting-edge concept was born like many before it.
I actually drew this up on a napkin.
From napkin sketch to computer mock-up, Team Eco Mileage's scheme to stretch a gallon matches a sturdy but ultralight aluminum chassis
Fuel efficiency is all in the weight.
with a highly modified lawnmower engine.
Reducing the size of the piston right here, as you can see with the sleeve.
Trading horsepower for ultra-miserly fuel consumption. Of course, when you get about the business of turning theory into reality, it's mighty comforting to have a practical guy like Chris around.
Yeah, well, you got it backwards. This is the back side actually here.
Try not to annoy him too much.
Show them some tricks, show them some easy ways to do things, make their life a little easier.
We asked as many questions as we could.
So that's got way too much gap on it.
And they listen. It's not like they're hard-headed and it's all my way. They're like, okay, thank you very much, and then they go back to doing their thing.
Fair to say, it's how things get better. Joining the old, so to speak, with the new. Enjoying the creative journey.
And I think me and the other guys are always on the same page.
Is what you'd call the bonus.
Think they're going to do good. Think they're going to do good.
Many would say they already have. On the north side, Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News.